Hello, check. Making sure that everything is gone live appropriately. Oh my Lanta, we got to talk about something today. So normally I don't do any kind of LinkedIn Live or anything where I'm sharing a real-time experience, but today is an exception to the rule. Um, so what I want to share today is an experience that happened this morning with a brand that I am very, very loyal to. One that I have spent thousands and way too much money, but I have been very loyal to for the years. Established status, spent a lot of time with them. But I had an experience this morning with my favorite airline, and I'm trying to help my family get down to Florida. There's weather delays in Kansas City, so I'm on the phone while my family's stuck on the tarmac talking about or calling it into customer service, talking to this individual about what's going on in the scenario. They were going to miss a connection. Was just trying to find a solution of some sort. So I'm talking with this individual, and she's, welcome to customer service. How can I help you? Can I explain the situation? And abruptly, she said, "There are no flights today." No, I think the demeanor of everything too is how you deliver it is really critical. Like I tell my sons all the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So the abrupt delivery of this, when I frankly just mentioned, "Hey, I'd really love your help. I'm trying to find a solution to this problem." That started things. So that became very abrupt out of the gate. What was confusing to me was that I was in the app and I was looking at flights down the line through the day of when they could get on another flight. And not that I expected this person controls the app by any means, but the app shows in different flights that the next flight down the line, there were like 35 empty seats per the app that I could go out and buy if I wanted to buy a ticket right now. What I didn't understand is that I guess Delta has a policy where there's the airline. Delta has a policy where they have like different flight types or ticket types that you don't get your seat assignment until you get to the gate. I was confused by that. Regardless, I'm sharing this pain point with this individual who is in charge of helping me try to find a solution. Number one was very abrupt with me. And when I said, I'm just curious. I'm in the app right now and I'm looking at the next flight. This is exactly how I'm talking. I'm in your app right now and I'm looking at the next flight and it shows that there's like 30 or 35 seats open. Is there any way just to get them moved over to this one? This was exactly how it came out of her mouth. "I told you there's no flights today." Now, I pride myself on my emotional intelligence. I pride myself on my patience. I pride myself on grace. I've been in client service, customer service. I've been on the receiving end of negative commentary. I've been on the receiving end of people that have a gripe about something and just want to yell. I get it. My empathy is high there. However, I was talking as delicately as I possibly could to this person. So as I'm sharing this, and I said this, and she shouts at me, and I said, "Excuse me?" And she goes, "I told you that there are no flights left today. They can get out tomorrow." And I said, "Well, I'm just confused." And she starts talking over top of me. And so here I am in this situation where it's like the devil and the angel situation where I feel like I'm trying to be as nice as possible. This person was abrupt with me, yelled at me, and then talked over me as I was trying to ask another question. And so finally I got to a point, I'm laughing about it now, but I was like, what in the world is going on? And so then I'm like, okay, I need a solution and you're not helping me get to a solution. So can I please talk with somebody else? And she said, "Who would you like to speak with?" And I said, I don't know who works with you. I just need to speak with somebody else that can help me find a solution, another agent or somebody. She goes, "Well, I can't pass you to another agent." I said, "Okay, give me to someone that is not you, because I don't like the way I'm being talked to right now. And I just need to figure out a solution to this problem that I've got. And I'm confused, and the way you're talking to me is not helping this at all." And so finally, it was almost like we were playing password. She said, "Well, you have to tell me specifically who you want to talk to." I said, "I don't know. Mary, Dave, I don't know who's sitting around you, a manager, a supervisor." She goes, "Okay, you said manager. I'll connect you." It's like, what in the world is going on here? So I finally I was so frustrated. I hung up the phone and I called back in to get somebody else. And I got a woman named Becky, which Becky at customer service, go find my call log. Becky is phenomenal. Becky was an immense help. And the reason I share this story is twofold in how it reflects back on your brand as you're thinking about your company, your brand, either whether it's your company brand, your personal brand. A couple of different things. Number one, anybody in your organization, anybody has an impact on your brand to a client, a prospect, or maybe even somebody that's just in the marketplace that doesn't need your service, but then all of a sudden has an interaction with someone from your company that it affects how they view you. Not only does it affect how they view you, the likelihood of them sharing that with someone else is very high. And so as a leader, as leaders within the organization, if you don't have a declaration or some sort of an understanding of what your culture and your brand in the marketplace needs to exude, whether it's customer service, politeness, empathy, trying to help people out, like everybody in your organization is a representative of your brand, is what I'm trying to say. So whatever you need to do to reinforce, remind, or put it into place. I'm not saying don't become a brand dictator about this, but if you say like this is just the expectation and hold people accountable to that. Now, I understand that people have bad days. I get it. I have bad days too. But I've never stepped on a stage and unloaded on an audience because I was having a bad day. Like you need to be able to manage that. So I don't know what this person's problem was. I don't know what their deal was. I don't know what happened to them leading up to my interaction with them. But I felt it was pretty unprovoked. So point number one is that everybody in your organization is responsible for your brand, positively and negatively, because I don't want to make this just a negative complaint thing. This is not the point of this. So if your organization has people going out in the marketplace that are kind, that are polite, that are the people, let's just say, for instance, somebody waves somebody else into traffic or somebody else lets somebody in a parking spot, whatever, just an act of kindness in the marketplace. And then they find out that they're tied to your company. That's good on you. On the converse, there's a situation like today where it could be bad on you. So whatever you need to do to reinforce the culture and the expectations and just recommunicate and remind people that they're a reflection of the brand in the marketplace, very important. Now, I say that to say this. As a brand, how are you establishing a relationship with your customers, with your prospects, that your clients give you some grace? Because it is a little bit out of the ordinary. I will say I have been a loyal member of Delta SkyMiles for years. It was one of the first, I think it was the first airline loyalty program that I joined. And I've been, I've established my status and I'm flying more than ever now. And so I'm very reliant on Delta to get me where I need to get to. And I understand that there are things out of their control. Sometimes you can't make things happen that are out of your control. But I will say this, I on the whole have had wonderful experiences with Delta. I've had a great brand experience with Delta. I feel very taken care of by Delta. I've had great interactions with their staff members, customer service, flight attendants, pilots, gate agents, you name it. And I will say this, that the consistency of the brand to this point has been strong enough that I'm not holding it against Delta, unless you want to give me some free tickets. I'm not going to hold it against Delta for the actions of this one individual who was outside of their norm. So what are you doing to enhance and sustain and establish your brand, your company's brand, your personal brand in the marketplace that, God forbid, you have a slip up? God forbid there's an outlier of some negative way that all of a sudden are like, that's not like them. And I'm going to let this one slide. That's on that individual, not the brand. But you have my attention now. So what are you doing to establish that brand on the long term? What are you doing to declare what to expect with you? And how are you delivering on that? So if you say we're an attentive culture and we pride ourselves on client service and our guests are first and we're taking care of everything, and you're rolling out this branded red carpet for your clients, you got to be able to back that up. Don't promise something that you can't back up on the regular. Don't promise something that you're not talking internally about on a regular basis that people understand when they put on your brand uniform, they send out an email with your brand in the signature box. They're representing you at a conference. Any of those elements, or just any general interaction. How are they representing your brand in a positive way that the consistency is built? I have come in contact with hundreds of Delta employees at this point, hundreds. And one person's not going to move me off of my brand's loyalty to them. Yes, it was absolutely abhorrent what this person did. The way that she talked to me, I've never, ever had anyone in a professional customer service, client service way talk to me the way that I got talked to this morning. It was bad. I was very upset. But I will say this, to Delta's credit, I have had better experiences with them over the long term than this one instance is going to move me off of. So kudos to you, Delta. Well done. I personally requested that this situation get elevated, so I'm going to be interested to see how that gets handled. Because that's another thing. So if you're opening up communication lines of, hey, we want your feedback. We record these calls to make sure that there's quality assurance. We want to make sure that if you have a complaint that we get it escalated and handled. Let's see what happens. I'm really curious. So as you think about your company, as you think about your brand, as you think about the way you show up in the marketplace, is it being communicated? Is it something that people are bought in on? Is it something that people understand? Yes, kindness and politeness should be just table stakes. But what is your brand talking about in the marketplace as how you show up? And do your people understand that? And are they showing that themselves? Part two, is your brand strong enough and consistent enough that, because nobody's perfect, that the one-off doesn't move loyalty, that the one-off doesn't cause somebody, because I'm not out here to talk bad about Delta. I'm actually here to praise Delta. I'm just here to kind of raise some attention to the idea that this could be a problem for other brands. If you've got people in the marketplace that are talking and not showing the strength of brand that you're hoping that they are, that could be a big problem. So understand how that impacts you. I got that off my chest. So if you see me boarding a Delta flight, which I'm boarding one in 2 weeks, if you see me boarding a Delta flight, understand that I'm loyal to them. Understand that that's my airline of choice. Understand that this individual made a mistake and hopefully they're held accountable for it. But also, like, it's a lesson to be learned for companies anywhere. Make sure your culture is known. Make sure the expectations are set. Make sure you're acting in a consistent fashion that the one-off doesn't tarnish the brand permanently. So, rant ended. But I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. We had a pretty decent pop-up snowstorm happen here in Kansas City. So if you're in Kansas City, I hope you're staying safe and warm. If you're elsewhere, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're healthy, happy, and safe. Some great fun things that are coming. So make sure that you are following me on LinkedIn. Make sure that you're following me on YouTube for some new videos that are coming. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter on richbracken.com. Got some great stuff coming, including, teasing it now, including a limited edition run of some of the coolest t-shirts that are going to be from me available to you that I think you're going to love. Matter of fact, I know you're going to love them. One that I'll wear on my next Delta flight. So that's coming. So I have a partnership that I'm doing with one of my favorite t-shirt vendors in the entire world. Dream collaboration come true. So stay tuned, sign up for the newsletter so you get first dibs on those. So excited for all of the wonderful things that are coming. Very thankful to each and every one of you for the support on the newsletter, on my LinkedIn profile, all the engagement that I have on the content. I'm just thrilled. I'm just blessed. I'm happy. Sarah, the Sarah that I talked to this morning on customer service, I hope you have a better day. I really do. Take care of yourself.